Welcome to the weekly brew here at Redefining Success with Emma and Iona. Welcome, Iona.
Welcome, Emma. So this is a place where we share our journey with you that we are on to build a soul-led business and to unlock abundance. So Emma, what's been brewing for you this last week?
Well, this week we've been sort of brewing together, haven't we? And it's a celebratory week that we've hit a threshold, which is that we've got our website our website up and running, and we've got our free gift offered on the website for you all.
Yeah.
And that feels like a really big threshold. And I think so. Then it's, to me, is how do we celebrate these wins, however big? Often people think of wins as having to be these huge milestones, but actually there's so many little milestones along the way, little thresholds, which are really important and create the path to the bigger ones. And although maybe it's not a humongous one, it is actually pretty big for us, isn't it?
It is pretty big. It's amazing. And I was just reflecting that I haven't ever been this far where I've actually got my free gift up on my website. And I have been trying for years. But I came home last night and I messaged Emma and I said, I'm so excited to actually acknowledge that we've done our first step, which is we've got this website up. It's all linked to our database and to everything that we need. And we're ready to offer you our free gift that we've created and we've uploaded. And that's such a beautiful milestone to get to this point. It's a huge achievement. And I think there's so much that goes on in the back end just around getting the tech, creating the WordPress website. Thank goodness for ChatGPT that sat there and helped me do it, because I couldn't have done it with the level of expertise involved just on my own without having to pay someone. So yeah, it's a celebration of what we've achieved, where we're at. And like you say, Emma, it's really important just to pause and to acknowledge where we are.
Yeah. So then I was thinking, how do we do that? And I thought, well, we need to have a bit of a celebration. So I bought some special chocolate and strawberries and some fizz.
Yay!
Non-alcoholic fizz.
Yes.
I do love champagne, but I didn't want to be recording slightly blotto.
Yeah.
So
So being very responsible, very eco. Yeah, and what we were saying before coming on is it feels like we climbing a mountain. And, when you begin a big journey of climbing a massive big mountain, you might really feel that you want to be at the top. You want to be at the top. You can almost feel in your body what it would feel like to be at the top, with the wind blowing in your hair, and it would just feel amazing to have that view. And it feels the same in business. Emma could sense herself being on a large stage and just beaming out her soul light and her joy and enthusiasm. And I really connect to that as well. Just our fullness, our bigness that we naturally feel inside us, our desire to just share our gifts with the world, and our voice and our enthusiasm. We both have that within us, within our seed, but we're not there yet. And the mind can come in and say, well, how do we get there? And it can create a lot of confusion, which we felt in the space this morning. And then we remembered we are climbing a mountain, and it happens step by step. And this is the first threshold that we've reached. So can we pause and celebrate? There's a new vista possible from this place. And we can look down at where we came from, and we can be really proud of ourselves and remember that it's just step by step by step that we eventually get there. And when we get there, we can look back and say, oh my goodness, we couldn't possibly have known the journey that life would take us on. Around all of the different obstacles that we've gone around, how we have consistently said, let's continue with all the difficulties, all the challenges. Let's find an easy way to go around this, the most fun, joyful way that we can continue to stay committed to this journey of abundance.
Yeah. And I think so. I think that's super important to, and for you as well. If you're to acknowledge what are the thresholds, even if they're tiny weeny, and maybe other people wouldn't see them as thresholds or goals that you've achieved. Give yourself a pat on the back, take some time, take a pause, and like Iona was just saying, check out that view as to where you are now and how different it looks to where you were when you began. And now ours looks very different. And what we found is through, like, I felt, okay, we've reached this goal, and then I felt like I was in quite a no man's land. Oh, well, what happens now? Although I've still got that big vision of being at the top. I can feel it. I can feel the energy of it. But we're not there yet. So then how do you hold on to that energy and then be sat in a no man's land? And I was with that this morning, and then we've been talking, and then we realized that when we reach a threshold, there's a new honing of skills, a honing of ideas, of concepts, of, are we on the track that we want to be? Are we on the same track that we were when we started? Well, yes, but how is it? It has actually changed, and things are becoming more refined and defined and clearer to us, because there's fuzziness and confusion on the way, but still we hold that initial seed, that bright, beautiful, effervescingness of all that we are and all that we're bringing. And that's actually part of the top of the mountain as well. And it's the seed of it's there, so we can feel it in its wholeness and its entirety. But we're on the journey to the wholeness, even though it's already within us.
Yes. Yeah. And I think that was such an exciting realization for us this morning. It's like, oh my goodness, this is what we're going to be experiencing. We are going to be experiencing this full, abundant life. And we would have unlocked it by the time we get to the top of the mountain, wherever that is. But it's enjoying the journey, and at each threshold, just checking, am I still enjoying the journey? What steps do I want to do next that feel the most aligned to my joy, to what I want to be offering, to where I want to be offering it from? And how can I bring in those elements that really feed me and feed our business? And Emma and I love going out into nature. We absolutely acknowledge that the earth is the source of all abundance, and connecting into the earth, into that deep wisdom of this mother that holds us, and making time to listen to the earth, to be in nature, to be in that joy and that beauty is absolutely necessary to feed our creativity and what we bring through to you. So we've recommitted to going out to those places that call us, to really listening and to be infused with that nature element, which we know we need.
Yeah, we do. We need it for our own embodiment, for our own energy, and for our creative juices to be able to flow, and within ourselves and with each other. And then to be able to, then that becomes some form of something, and then we can offer that as gifts. And it's the whole manifesting practice, actually, in a way as well, when you can feel the energy of what you want to achieve, and you know that that light is already within you. And then how do you resource yourself with that? And nature is a big one for us. It allows that energy, the energy of nature, of the natural world, to flow through us, and we both feel very alive with it, and it sparks ideas, it sparks awakenings, concepts, and then we share them, and then we can bring them. And the key then is, when you're looking around, if you've reached a threshold, celebrate it, have a look around, see where you're at, and don't be afraid for things to shift, for things to need rehoning, to think, what are my resources? How do my creative juices flow? Where do I go and be inspired? How do I inspire myself? How do I freely allow that energy to flow through me? And then act on it. Take some form of action. Today we're celebrating, but we've also done some good old, I don't know, what would you call it? Not
strategizing.
Exactly.
Yeah. Around where we want to go next.
Yeah.
And I think what came up as well is there's many people out there offering advice about how to do business, how to market, how to get ahead. But honestly, the beauty of this path to abundance is it's about unlocking your own core gifts, your own core essence, what's true for you, what brings you joy, unlocking your own voice, your own way of doing things. And that can only come from you and through you. And while you can be inspired by others and receive things, it's really important not to just follow things because someone says it works, but really check in. Is this how I want to be marketing? Is this how I want to be creating and offering my gifts to the world? And the most important thing is really to sit with your own essence and how does this want to blossom, this essence within me? Because when we are allowing that to come through and feeding it with what it loves, there's this natural expression of joy, which is magnetic, which is your brand, which is what you offer to the world.
I think Iona was talking earlier about being influenced by other people, and just really notice where you are at with yourself, because we can all listen to lots of podcasts and get ideas and things like that, but sometimes if you go down one track and you think you want to be like someone else, it's sort of doomed to failure, or you feel like there's always hurdles. And that's because there needs to be an alignment with your deep calling. And if you can really hone in on yourself above everything else, and if you're working collaboratively then also with that person, you find an aligned path where, as you meet life and you meet your business and you meet everything you're creating, that comes to life and meets you as well, bringing you gifts, things you just can't imagine because you don't know what they are yet. And so take some time out at each step of the way just to pause and have a look around and to rehone, it's like chiseling an amazing sculpture, chiseling away what you have to step back and take an overview and see what the next bit is needed for sculpting, for honing, for creating.
Yeah, we spoke about that last week, didn't we? About zooming in, which is the action, taking action, doing the chiseling, and then zooming out, which is we said was more feminine because you're feeling into your own body. How does this feel? Where am I at? Where do I want to go next? And what feels good to me? What feels joyful? What feels in that natural alignment? And we got to remember that we're part of life. We are working in a unity with life that supports us. When we're in flow, it's because we're aligned with this natural connection that we are life, and it supports us. And there's this natural abundance that supports us. So making time to feel into that natural alignment and allow it to guide each step of the way, and to take those moments to pause when you're confused or when you reach a threshold and just zoom back and, where am I now? Where do we want to go next? And that's very much where we were at, where we are at. It's we're on our threshold. We've reached a ledge on our climb up the mountain, and we are pausing to have some fizzy wild nettle and chocolates.
Yeah,
so
delicious.
Yeah, so we thank you again for joining us on this journey. And yeah, you can definitely carry on watching us by subscribing, liking our videos, and going over to our website to join our community in a formal way where we can stay connected to you.
And so on that note, is to redefining success.
So much love.
Bye for now.